What is hyperthyroidism, not hypo, hyperthyroidism, and what could be causing that? Now, a lot of our patients who come to see us are hypo, meaning sluggish thyroid, right? And we talked about that on several videos before this. But there are some of you who could be really looking for help in terms of a thyroid that can't turn off. It is turned on all the time. You end up with high heart rate, significant weight loss, always hot palms, sweaty, just kind of in this hyperactive state. It's just like you can't ever feel at ease. You crank up to 11, that old Spinal Tap joke. So in this case, there are there's a couple, but one major type of hyperthyroidism, and that is called Graves' disease. Graves' disease essentially is where in the normal communication of the brain to the thyroid, it is using this thing called TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. We've talked about that a lot in other videos as well. In Graves' disease, you produce TSI, which is thyroid stimulating immunoglobulins. And so when TSH goes to act on the thyroid, there is receptors that the TSH is going to attach to, right? Little satellite dishes on the thyroid cell. Well, the TSI can also compete for the TSH. And then the more TSI you make, that's what attaches to the thyroid cell. And essentially what it does when it attaches to the thyroid, it turns the ignition key on and it never turns off. You just got that engine running 24/7. Even you got it parked in the garage, that thyroid's running, the engine's running, okay? So you never get that shut off. So you get this hyperactive thyroid due to this TSI. So one of the things, and this is, they say about 70% a genetic component, but you need the other 30% to be involved here, and the other 30% are environmental factors. Things like real chronic stress or emotional trauma, or things like a really poor diet, a lack of good nutrients, vitamins, minerals, right? These are the things that take your genetic code and they flip the switch. And that code switch causes this TSH production from the pituitary to switch to TSI. And that's the problem, right? So we want to get into the causes of this and address these for our Graves patients. So that way the Graves disease can calm down. You can make more TSH. We do that through testing, of course. There are a couple other types of hyperthyroidism. There's Day Curvain's thyroiditis. There's also something called nodular goiter. And with these, you have basically the thyroid is just going rogue. There's these little cells that develop within the thyroid, these little pockets of stored T4 and T3, and these little pockets can just release T4 at any given time without your body actually controlling it through hormonal regulation. It just acts on its own. Literally, the thyroid goes rogue, creating this thyroid state. So in testing for these three things, these are all common external factors which trigger this. And we want to make sure that you get tested properly for these, all right? And that's what we do as functional medicine doctors. And in our office, we can start that process for you free of charge. In the description to this video, you can see a link there. Sign up for that free call where you can ask us questions about this particular complex, this issue, or functional medicine in general, your own health questions. We'll answer those for you on that call. And We want to make sure that you're a good fit in our office, that we think we can help you. And if that's the case, then we talk about comprehensive testing and getting this dialed in so that way we finally get an actual filling in of the puzzle completely, all the way around, not just slapping a Band-Aid medication on a problem and hoping that a couple numbers improve. We want to get the full picture and address that from a natural perspective. That's what we do. So take advantage of this phone call. If you've got hyperthyroidism, we're here to help. Let's make today day one of actually getting to the root cause of that problem and finally getting you back to optimal health.